So we are now talking about the third segment, which is the kidneys, dementia, strokes, osteoporosis, loneliness. So you know how we talk about the virtues and the acquired emotions? So those acquired emotions are the uncomfortable ones. So for the kidneys, it's loneliness and fear are the ones we focus on. So we kind of were having a topic about fear just before we started talking about getting blood and donating blood, and how do they know that the blood they're going to take doesn't have like COVID? Well, mostly the blood isn't used right away. If they are using it, I think they can test the blood before, and it's usually stored before, so it's in the fridge. And cold will kill the virus. So if you, like back when it first started, they would, say, put it in the garage, what you can, don't bring it in the house right away. Different people would wipe things down, or what you can put in the fridge, because cold will also kill it. But, really, it isn't that, it's not going to be, if someone has COVID in their blood, it's not something, I don't believe that you can get. Don't quote me, but I do believe they always put it in the fridge. It's not coming immediately, and being in the fridge is gonna kill anything too, because the virus, it's not like cold. But I'm going to the topic now. But fear, right? Being fearful, and definitely the fear of lack of food and baby formula right now, the lack of gas that's cheap. We get in that fearful state, and it's not worry, it's a fear. Are we going to have, if you want to sell your house and our price is going to stay up, I'm afraid they're going to fall. These fear feelings, that's all kidney related. And then loneliness also, when you get older, people can get feeling a little isolated, or they can get, because they can't as easily maybe go out. Or if they're staying somewhere who people are helping them, they might only get exposed to that person for socialization. Maybe they don't have a lot. Definitely, it's great that we have now Zoom, because you can connect with people all over the world. And I highly encourage you guys, if you are a social person, look on Meetup, look on different things, because there are a lot of women's groups and things that do meetings online, and you can socialize with like-minded people and make some friends. So those, and also kidneys were only born with a certain amount of energy. Remember how I mentioned it is the batteries of our body. And so if you're thinking about a battery and it's going to run out before you can go plug it in or recharge it, well, you can recharge it a little bit with Qigong, yet you are still born with one amount of energy in your kidneys, your ancestral Qi, the prenatal Qi that comes in, and it's your postnatal Qi, we call it. And when you get to a certain age, you really want to conserve it. I mean, you want to conserve it all your life and not give it away. So giving it away is fear, allowing yourself to become fearful too much. If you're an introvert, maybe you don't want to socialize that much, but you can still have nurturing art or creation, something to recharge your kidneys. Wearing blue, wearing black, wearing purple, that recharges your kidneys. Eating blueberries black, also black is a good one. It's also slenderizing. And for men, I say, and I'm not the only one, Mantek Chia talks about it. Men should not, if they can help it, ejaculate. So if they're going to be having intercourse, it's best for them not to. You can do other things enjoyable and not get what they say blue balls, not hurt your, once in a while, yes, but not all the time. Definitely with people who have chronic masturbation, they just want to do that. Definitely kids do, when they're growing up. But the more they can learn to channel that energy in something else, there's an exercise, Tibetan rites. There's a Tibetan rites exercise that kind of holds the sexual energy down so that it's, circulated and not, coming out inappropriately or coming out, for men who do have high libidos. The Tibetan rites, the reason they do it is because they're monks mostly. And so they kind of want to suppress that sexual energy and then move it around and use it in the body, but not let it come out in that way. And definitely as we get older, sometimes we don't feel like we have a need for that as much. I know one of my teachers said, at age 65, I think it was, he no longer needed sexual, he had a wife, he had kids, grandkids, he no longer craved that. He no longer, and also when you get to a certain spiritual state, you don't necessarily need it. It was his teachings, because that's of the world. Sexual energy is a lower vibration, the animal vibration on the earth. And as you get older, sometimes you're getting your spiritual connection and you don't really need it that much. It's fun. If you love someone, it's an expression of love. Definitely then, but even then, men ideally don't want to arrive, as the French say. It's funny, America says come, French say arrive. So that's one thing. Sexual organs, sexual energy relates to the kidney. So kidney, you're born with the virtues, self-confidence, inner strength, wisdom. Those are the virtues from the kidneys. So cultivating self-confidence, inner strength, wisdom, the wisdom you learn in life, you learn from ancestors. You came in with wisdom. The self-confidence comes from doing things and feeling, strong. Self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom. The strength of the inner strength of having been through things, having, the awareness of your power. And that self-confidence we have, sometimes we'll ask people to write 5 things that they have accomplished in their life. Because when we get self-doubt or, not feeling great about ourselves, if you write down at least 5 things you've accomplished, maybe raised children, maybe stayed in a marriage for a long time, maybe got out of an unhealthy marriage, those are things to be proud of. So writing the list of some accomplishments, even more than 5, and carrying it around with you when you're ever not feeling confident about yourself, and looking at it and remind, oh yeah, I did that. And even more powerful is having someone read your list to you out loud, because the word power spoken has a lot of power. So before, I didn't quite finish what I was talking about with that Jing. Okay, so Jing, Qi, Shen. So Jing is that physical I was talking about, the physical body, energy body, spirit body. So Jing is the most material. Qi is emotional or energetic. And Shen, Jing, Qi, Shen. Shen is the spiritual. So Jing is what you're born with, how much energy of the physical body you have, your batteries in your kidneys, okay? And you only get this specific amount. And you can keep what you have, kind of recharge it, but it's not super recharging. It's more like maintain what you have. And over time, as you get older, you spend more, and it's shrinking how much you have. And so we don't want to focus on fear. We don't want to focus on the loneliness. We want to do something about it. We want to do whatever it is with the Qigong or in the world we can do, so we don't spend this energy. Talking about the dementia is, when we have spent it too much, and I'm going to sit down because we just ate. Let that rest and digest. So when you have dementia, or you're starting to get dementia, there's like the vascular kind, there's Alzheimer's, and I'm really talking about the vascular kind, which also relates to strokes. So both strokes and dementia have a relationship with the kidneys, because we're not getting enough energy to the brain, that heart meditation that we did, that exercise of inhaling the fire down and bringing up the water of the kidneys, when we exhale, it works for osteoporosis too, when we are nurturing the bones in the brain. So we're feeding the bones. We're actually creating more bone density. So I've had also clients say to their doctor, how am I doing? And they're like, what are you doing? Because it's impossible to create more bone density, but you did. How would you? And this is that exercise. Inhale, the fire descends, the water ascends, exhale, feeling the bones and the brain just nourished. It's also helping fight cancer because it creates more fighter T cells because it comes from the bone marrow. So you're inhaling, exhaling that mist, and it's nurturing the bones in the brain. It's nurturing what we call the sea of marrow. It's doing all these things to help create bone density. You're putting that intention. Now for the brain not to go to mush, that is a not nice way to say it, but my husband said that when my dad had dementia, that his health was starting to go because his brain was going. Because his brain was going to mush, because it wasn't getting a lot of synapses firing, and he wasn't sleeping. My dad was like up all night. He didn't know if it was day or night. He had to do stuff on the computer and would just be doing stuff for hours and not getting anything done. So sleep is huge, ideally between 7 hours and 8 hours, not more than 8, not less than 7. They've done studies saying it has to be as close to 7 hours as possible. I believe you can do studies and make it look one way. So, take it for a grain of salt. What works for you? If 8 hours feels great, do 8 hours. If 7 feels better, I know people that only do 6 hours ever, and that's just for them.
If it's broken, like
if you take naps,
or even during the night when you're supposed to sleep 7 hours and
yeah.
do 3 and wake up for an hour.
Yeah.
Fall back to sleep.
Yeah, so that is a little bit more into the gallbladder, which I'll talk about later. When you wake up at night and you're up for a little while and then you go back. But ideally, whatever hours you're getting, even if it's like 4, and then later you take a 3-hour nap, or whatever. Naps are good. I would love to take naps every day.
Yeah.
I love naps. But add them all together. And I think if you're gonna have 8 hours of sleep and then an hour nap, maybe that's not so great, but maybe try to get 7 hours and then have an hour nap. It's kind of funny. And the other thing, so that inhaling the fire and water going to the brain and the bones. So it's going to the brain. So it's brain food. You're nurturing your brain too. So this helps stop dementia. The other thing is trying to do new things. Remember how I was telling you, inhale up, to exhale down? Like it's kind of hard at first to inhale inside the leg, inside the center of the body, but inside the breast, and then inside the face and ear to the top of the head. Exhale behind the ear, down the outside of the body. Inhale the inside. Okay, so the more you do that and get a hang of it, the more your brain is learning something, creating a new pathway. So the more new things you can do regularly, you're building brain pathways. Guess what most people with dementia are doing, other than like my dad, sitting at the computer? Either sitting at the computer, but not doing something new, doing Facebook or trying to do something, but watching TV. TV is like, you're not building brain pathways. You're seeing stories that might get you a reaction emotionally. Unless the TV is teaching you how to speak another language or do something new, I highly suggest limiting your TV and definitely not having TV in the bedroom, because if you're going to go to sleep and you have TV right before you go to bed, that's not good. Ideally, you have a spiritual book or a book that's exciting and lovely to you, so you feel good before you go to sleep. I ask people to say 28 things you're grateful for right before you go to bed, because you want to have those good feelings before you go to bed. There's also a book by Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche called the book, The Dream Yoga, or Book of Dreams, Sleep Yoga, something. But I can take a picture of it. I have it. But it talks about that, like before you go to bed, whatever you're thinking or reading or doing before you go to bed, it's going to affect you the rest of the night and in your subconscious. So it's really important to not watch the news, watch, if you have to watch, something that makes you feel good, or not have a TV in your room so you don't have any light, but read a book. And not a Kindle, a book, a physical book, because you don't want the rays of the light, okay? So sleep is huge, and that's going to help for dementia, that's going to help for your energy of your kidneys to stay strong. And then the cultivation of the inner strength and wisdom. So how I was saying, you do a sound for all the organs. So far we've done the old man and Tai pool. The sound for these organs, like the ha and the dong, well, we don't do a sound for the kidneys. The 5 organs, the kidneys, the only one we don't do a sound. We may think of a gray smoke, so pulling from the kidneys, and we do it in the front of the body because the kidneys are kind of hard to pull, but we will do like inhale, and usually do them together. Inhaling self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom. Exhaling a gray smoke, letting go of fear and loneliness. And then only about 2 times, maybe 3. Inhaling self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom. Exhale, letting go of fear and loneliness and gray smoke. And the reason we do that is because we don't want to deplete the energy from the kidneys, even if it might not be the greatest energy. Instead, we journal, we do some artwork, we talk to someone, but we don't want to do too much qigong of reducing or purging. So I called it purging before. Sometimes it's called reducing when we're letting go of stuff. So that's important for the kidneys. So we did the Kan Li, that meditation that's going to help the kidneys and the heart and the brain for that. And I said the new things, the more new things, try to learn a language. Go online or sign up for a community college, learn a new language. That's one of the best ways to fire new synapses. If you don't paint, start painting, even if you're getting paint by numbers, and paint. Mandalas, also circular art, has a healing property. And you can do any kind of mandala. It doesn't have to be perfect, and just make things so that you can go in and color the different areas, because that's something new. Or maybe you do that. We have somebody who writes poetry. You could try to write poetry. Anything you can do at all that's new. Use your left hand or right hand, whatever is your not dominant hand. Try to use it for a day. Try to use it even for like 10 minutes a day. That's going to fire new synapses. And we can go ahead and stand up too for this. So we have 3 midlines, and I don't know why I held up 4 of my fingers. 3 midlines. So midlines mean midlines, okay? Half of your body, a midline is the front of your body, half of the body is the back of your body, okay? There is a midline going through. So if you think of it like a cheese slicer, because we're in Wisconsin, it's going through the center of your body, and you have a front and a back, right? So that's a midline, right? So how would we cross the midlines? Twisting, like just doing a twist. You know, twist your body, you just crossed them, right? We did that before, a little bit of that. So twisting is one way we're crossing these midlines, right? So doing twists or any kind of thing. And if you're doing yoga or something, you might do an alternate thing, twisting, bending the knee and like bringing your arm up, you know, something like that. That's hitting more than one midline. What are the other midlines? Top and bottom. There's a midline here. So touching your toes, I'm crossing a midline, okay? So when you do yoga, you're crossing midlines all the time. So just doing that, you know, if you're gardening, you're crossing a midline. So what did I leave off? Front, back, top and bottom, and front, back, top and bottom, and there's a third one I'm blanking. I'm blanking what the middle one is. So front, oh, back, is that right? Back and front. So that's the mid, this is, oh, left and right. So left half of the body, the right half of the body. So that's kind of the twisting also. That's really the twisting. What I'm talking about with the front and the back is back bending. So not too much of a back bend, but a little bit of a back bend, and then you know, like a forward fold. So if you do a forward fold and like downward facing dog or touching your toes, you're doing both because you're crossing that midline. So yoga, like I said, any kind of yoga where you're crossing and bending, you know, you're getting all three of the midlines. Why do we want to cross those midlines? Because we have a corpus callosum, this brain bridge, and both hemispheres, they fire synapses every time you cross those midlines. It's really good for kids to help stimulate brain development. But as we get older, we want more brain development. We want those plasticity, those brain pathways to be built. And every time we cross, that does that. So we're going to do some old man type pull just because I said we're going to do it every single time. And also because it's fun and it feels really good. And we're crossing a bunch of midlines for this. So let's keep the knees bent. Remember, we asked for a blessing. Please bless this practice. No food or drink is going to get this. White protective light. And then take the sword fingers again. Make a large clockwise circle. It's smaller and smaller and smaller. Energy is going to go in there. Okay, bend the knees slightly. We're going to just do one set. Inhale, arms out. Dive forward with a shh. Down, alternating the hands in front of each other. One more breath. Let the head hang. Let the shoulders relax. The necks relax. Bending the knees. Rolling up one vertebra at a time. Hands face the earth as you inhale. And then the heavens, inhale. And then like holding sparrows, slightly bending the knees, then the thumbs go outward, roll the back, whoa, sit down. Inhaling, arms up. And the thumbs are kind of facing back as we do it, yeah. Then turning the wrists up, whoa, like you're sitting down, that round of the lower back. And one last time, inhaling, Whoa. So as our knees are bent and we're kind of sitting back, we've crossed that midline there. As we go down, we've crossed that midline there. As we reach up, we're kind of crossing that midline. So that's really good for that one. Let's do quick 3, pulling down the heavens, slightly bent knees, inhale. Energy shower coming down the front of the body. Steam energy off. Then the back of the body in tension. Then the center of the body. So we're relaxed and feeling good and yummy. And we did some things for dementia and we did some things for osteoporosis. And then we're going to revisit the strokes, which is something we did before. This is the best exercise for the strokes. And you want to really get this memorized because it's also great for focus. It's great for brain fog. It's great for the combination of that inhale, the mist, and the fire descending is great for surgery. If you're going to go in for surgery, before surgery, after surgery, you want to do these. And if you can't do them, imagine you're doing them and do the breath part, but you don't have to move. And then wherever you have the surgery, focus on that area when you're doing the divine mist. So it goes to the area where there was surgery. So this helps speed up recovery. It also removes scar tissue. So there's a million good things. It helps to be seeing me too, because I do a little protocol for removing scar tissue. And injuries in general. You bump your knee is sore. You can do this, with the bones brightening up. Focus on the knee. Wherever you injure any part of your body or hurt, you can focus on the area. So that's what I did when I hurt my wrist. It was a lot better. But this one is specifically for strokes, and as fast as possible if you have a stroke, to do this exercise. And if you're not able to imagine it. Okay, so we're going to again start at the inside of one of your ankles and inhale the energy up the leg, and then right up between the belly button and between the center in front of the breast, and up to the inside of the ear to the top of the head. Exhale behind the ear and down the outside of the opposite leg. Inside of the ankle, inhale, pulling the energy up the inside of the leg, inside of the breast, inside of the ear, top of the head. Exhale down behind the ear, down that opposite leg. Then hands on the inside of the ankle, inhale, pulling it up. inside of the breast, inside of the ear, top of the head. Exhale behind the ear and down. Now this is a regulating exercise as well, but it's also stimulating the brain. Inhale, up, front of the ear, top of the head. Exhale behind the ear, down outside. As you do it more, you can do it faster. You can even imagine it while you're sitting down on the airplane or whatever. Inhale up, exhale down. And you don't even have to do it. So look, I'm not moving. Just try this. Imagine your hands are on your ankle. Inhale the energy up your leg. Imagine the energy traveling up by your ear. Don't have to touch top of the head. Exhale, energy going down behind the ear. Energy going down the leg. I'm not even bending down. Inhale the energy up the inside of the leg. Inside, breast, inside of the ear, top of the head. Exhale, down behind the ear, down the outside of the body. Now, don't even move your hands. Imagine your hands, or an angel's hands, are on the inside of your ankle. Inhale, imagine the energy going up the inside of the leg, up the inside by the breast, inside of the ear, top of the head. Exhale, behind the ear, imagine those hands going down the other leg, down, down, down. The energy of the hands of the angel. Inhale up that opposite leg or that same leg, up, 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 in front of the breast, front of the ear, top of the head. Exhale behind the ear, down that leg. Now let's do it faster because we're not touching, okay? Inhale up, front of the ear, top of the head. Exhale down the opposite leg, behind the ear. Inhale up that other leg, front of the breast, front of the ear, top of the head. Exhale, down behind the ear, down the outside. One more time. Inhale, up that leg, front of the ear, top of the head. Exhale, down behind the ear, down the leg. See how easy that was? I hope.
Yes.
Hopefully you didn't lose me. Go ahead and sit down if you like. Now, why would we do this for a stroke? Because what happens in a stroke? There are no signals getting to where it's supposed to from the brain. It's going down, but there's a short circuit, and it really is like electricity. You plug something in to get your lamp on, like I want to walk with both legs, that's my lamp on. You're plugging in, you're turning on the switch to get the light on. Well, the brain is not able to access the plug or the switch to get my legs to move, both of them. You know, it's this short circuit because maybe the wire got cut. When you have a stroke, there's different kinds. Your energy flow isn't flowing for whatever reason, and that's a whole nother class. But when we do this exercise, we're reminding the brain how the energy is supposed to flow. The inside of the leg, insides of the arms are the yin channels. So the ones that are on our legs, those yin channels go on the inside of the legs. The ones on the arms go on the inside of the arms. But for the big circular way we're doing it, I call it up the yins, down the yangs, full body, because there's other ways to do it. We're reminding the brain the general way the energy is supposed to flow. And when you do this, you're preventing a stroke. You're preventing getting a stroke. You're preventing getting dementia. You're preventing having brain fog. If you're going to go to my class or anybody's class, it's good to do before so that you can take notes and be focused to take the notes, right? So this is all to say, do this every day. Old man at tide pool, you don't have to do it every day. But this one, it's great. And you can do that heart fire, the Conley, as often as you want to. And that's just going to help you have strong bones. It builds bone density. And then that's a regulating exercise. That's an easy regulating. So if you do anything afterwards, at the end of your medical, your prescription exercises or any Qigong you're going to do, even after you go to acupuncture, you can do that up the end, the full body, up the end and down the yang.
My chiropractor recommends neural chiropractic specifically for stroke. It is opposite.
Yeah. So somebody here was saying they had a stroke and their chiropractor helped them to do all opposite sides things. Yeah. So One exercise I'm going to do right now is not so much an exercise, but it's a meditation. Okay, when I was talking about kidneys, self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom part of that, when we come into the world, we have so much wisdom. And it's our parents and people around us that dumb us down. We're brilliant when we come in. So yeah, it's not exactly that, but you know, the world, you know, if you think about kids when they first come in, they have a mind like, I'm gonna lower this a little, a mind like, oh, everything's fascinating. I'm so happy. I'm so, you know, and then if you tell a kid, no, don't do that, and you yell at them or you punish them, they go, right? They tighten up. So we say there's a fire cycle and a water cycle. So when you're born, you're in the water cycle. So that means the energy's coming up your front and down the back. Up the front, down the back. That's the water cycle. And you're born with that. As soon as a child gets that too much, somebody yelling at them, maybe they hear someone yelling at each other, whatever that trauma is or whatever, that tightening, that's when the energy switches. Instead of up the back, down the front, now it's going up the front, down the back. That's the fire cycle. And we all are in the fire cycle until we get to the age of a certain age that we become in the water cycle again, which means that we're on the end years of our life. So with that fire cycle energy, like I was saying, we only get that certain amount of energy, everyone, for their life. We can stay longer in that fire cycle if we're, you know, not using too much of our battery. Like I said, we tonify with the kidneys and bring in more self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom, and focus on that. But it's not so much like the other organs where we're tonifying and giving more and more and more energy. It's more that we're keeping the energy that we got. We're kind of guarding our refrigerator of our kidneys, you know, so nothing goes out too much. That's why we don't make the sound with the kidneys. So where I'm going with this is that one thing we're born with. We're born with some self-confidence already because we know everything. We're coming from heaven. Inner strength, like we have, if you believe in this, past lives. Maybe not everybody believes in past lives, but for those of you do, you have strength and wisdom you gained from past lives. But if you don't believe in that, then take it with a grain of salt. But this inner strength from our lifetime too, that we've gone through things, that strength. But the wisdom is what I want to talk about. We all have ancestors that gave us wisdom. If you don't believe in past lives and wisdom, you definitely, or don't maybe definitely believe in ancestors, but you definitely do take on characteristics of, you know, we have genes from our ancestors, but that wisdom, that part, that wisdom, the knowing from our ancestors, something that we didn't really realize we knew until something happens. And like, I don't know how I know that, but it could be like wisdom from an ancestor that we, you know, and I believe, and definitely when I do medical Qigong, some of you know, ancestors show up, like group of people, they do medical Qigong in groups, everybody's ancestors come and they don't just help the person they're there for, they help everybody. Angels, guardians, they come and they help with what I'm doing. When I work with one person, it's just their ancestors. And it's up to that person, if they're open-minded to that, to hear about it. I mean, I don't tell people about that if I feel like they don't have that belief. But the ancestor wisdom is huge. And when I was talking before, ask for help. You won't get it if you don't ask. Free will is sacred. If they help you and you didn't ask for it, that's a violation of your free will. So I encourage everyone, use your free will, not only to declare you want to learn lessons without suffering. You want to learn lessons with grace and ease from now on, if you were learning them any other way, but also declare that you want help in everything all the time. You know, I declare that I want assistance in getting the things I want. I declare and ask for help with this challenging situation. I need guidance. Help me be guided to the places and people I need to be. Ideally, you know, it will serve me the best. You know, ask for help from God, source, divine, however you call your higher power. Ask, because that is free will, and free will is sacred. So where I'm going with this is a little meditation that after you guys are done writing, I'm going to guide us through. And you can just get comfortable in your chair. If you're at home, you can lie down and just get comfortable so you're not feeling like you're going to fall out of the chair. I mean, you could lean on the desk, whatever feels comfortable, so you're not going to fall in the chair. There's no arms in the chairs, so you can't really lean on the chairs, but whatever, so you're nice and comfortable. So go ahead and just take some slow, deep breaths with a little ha. Ah. Relax. A couple more times. Ah. Feel your body relaxing. One more time. Ah. Relax your face and jaw. Relax your shoulders. Relax your mouth. You're in a safe space, guided and guarded and protected by your highest good at all times. And just imagine you're in a beautiful, beautiful forest, and you have little deer, some baby rabbits, little baby bear cubs. Far away are their mothers, so you're safe. And you have little baby birds chirping and flying around. And you have flowers of all different kinds around you. Maybe some pink roses, some yellow daffodils, some purple iris, some white lilac trees or bushes, all different colors. And imagine that you have some trees around you, some pine trees, oak trees, all kinds of trees, and beautiful green leaves, maybe an apple tree, fruit trees, and a beautiful fire pit where you have something cooking there, some vegetables that you just take off, put them to the side right now because you're not going to focus on them. And you feel around you supported and loved. In the distance, you can see a waterfall and a beautiful blue lagoon. And from the top of that waterfall, you see there's more mountain over there. And then to your left, you see there's a pathway. And we're gonna walk down that pathway. It's between the trees, nice wide pathway. A couple cars could fit through there if they needed to. And it's a pathway that's been worn, and it's got some rocks and pebbles on it. And as you walk, you notice flowers and beautiful little animals following you and dancing around you. You see more flowers of all different colors. It rained recently. You can see a rainbow in the sky as you walk down this pathway. And it just feels loving and supportive. You feel just peaceful and just a very nice sense of happiness and joy. You really trust that everything is amazing and going to be wonderful. You really have faith in that beautiful compassion that is all around you, and kindness, feelings of love. And you feel just wonderful as you walk down this path, and you start to see at the end there is a light with a bunch of people laughing and singing, and there's a fire pit there as well. And as you get closer, the people you see are people you maybe haven't seen in a while. Maybe they're people who are alive and you just haven't seen them, or they're people who have passed, people you know who have passed, family members or friends, and also people you may not recognize, but there's something familiar about them. And they're all sitting on these logs around the fire, and there's a pile of rocks behind one of the logs, and a pile of rocks has a little water coming off of it, and there's like an ascended master sitting on the top of the rocks. and some angels by him, and beautiful female deities as well, male or female, whatever comes into your mind, whatever spiritual faith you have, you can sense and feel and even see who these people are, who these beings of light are. Maybe you see some objects around the circle, maybe a car or a truck, maybe piles of books. Maybe you see a door, maybe you see something that is only for you to see, that I haven't mentioned. And you look around this group of people and beings of divine light, and you just feel the love, feel amazing love that they are sending you. You feel like you belong. You feel like this is the best place you've ever been, that you feel so appreciated and so loved. And you're smiling, and these people and beings of light are smiling at you. And you know them, somehow you know them. And as you look around, maybe you recognize a face or two or three as you're looking around. Maybe you've done this with me before, and there are new people, or maybe the same and new people that you're looking at, and you're feeling the love. Maybe people who have crossed over recently or a long time ago that you know, you see, and you just smile, they smile at you, and you just feel this love. And now, if you didn't feel or see the books before, see the beings of light and people around with books on their lap. And this is wisdom they have to give to you. And just feel the energy of those books as they open, and you see little bluebirds and sparkling blue angels and beings of light coming to you with that blue light and filling your kidneys, just helping charge what is there in your kidneys with wisdom from your ancestors and these beings of light. Feel your kidneys a little heavy and a little warm, and just smile and just feel that knowledge, feel that wisdom that somehow you already know. It's just a reminder of things you already know, and maybe even some things you didn't know. You're just getting this wisdom from these ancestors, these beings of light, all this love. And you see these books all around you, and that energy is just arcing and coming into your kidneys and helping you preserve the energy of your kidneys and heal whatever needs to be healed in your kidneys, around the physical kidneys, around the energetic part of the kidneys with any fear and loneliness. But that is being relieved with self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom. And just feel that energy. Maybe you feel a little bit of gentle sensation on the top of your head, where you're getting this energy downloaded of wisdom. It's going right to the kidneys. And when you feel this energy is complete, you have received everything from your ancestors and the beings of light connected to you. You just smile and feel all that positive love and energy and acceptance. And just bow to those ancestors and beings of light. And then slowly walking away, feel that love on your back that they're sending you. And they're always there for you to ask for help at any time. And you walk back down this beautiful path knowing that you're always supported, and you're always loved, and you're always accepted. You always have this unending wisdom you can gather from them, and support and love you can gather from them. And as you walk down, you feel that love on your back and all around you. As you come back to the opening where you started, and you see your little fire pit and your little vegetables you were roasting, and you come and sit down on a comfy chair, smiling, and take a couple of deep breaths. Just relax your shoulders, face and jaw, really absorbing and feeling, processing the wonderful healing energy, wonderful recharging of your kidneys, really maintaining what energy you have, the wisdom you've gained, the love you've felt. And with gratitude and appreciation, feeling all that love and acceptance from those ancestors and beings of light, smiling, and just remembering that you can always ask for help at any time from those ancestors, those beings of light, God, source, divine, however you call your higher power. Just wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, smiling, coming back into your physical body and opening your eyes. And we just recharged our kidneys a little. And we were so still, the light went off
Yes.
at the right time.
Yeah.
And then I moved and they came back on. So we are going to take a break in a minute. Did you have anybody have a question or want to share with your experience? Even anybody online, I can put you up on speaker. Did you want to share, Ellen, a little bit?
Yeah, I had two questions, and I can remember one, and I'll start with that one. Several times in my life, I've become depleted of energy. And my understanding is that when your body is low on energy, it shuts down your sexual energy because you don't need that for the functioning of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
So
does.
actually, in a way, that made my life simpler.
Right.
And the other question is, you said you cannot give your kidneys more energy than it was born with. However, if I've gone through times of depleting, can I bring it up to my born kidney battery?
You can keep what you have conserved, and you can add, but no, it's a different thing you're charging. So when we are charging our kidneys, so to speak, or helping our battery of our kidneys, it's a little bit different than the jing we're born with. So we can kind of think about the jing as what's a certain amount that we can't add to as our main battery, but we're having little batteries we can charge so we don't use that main battery so that it lasts longer. So when we're tonifying, bringing that, so I didn't exactly do it for this one, but if you imagine a waterfall and that water, lagoon and blue flowers around, you can inhale self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom to the kidneys, and that water element, lips closed, exhale, absorb self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom into the kidneys. So that is like before with the other ones, inhaling the element, the color, the blue, and exhale, absorb like a sponge with lips closed. Self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom, the blue color, the water element. So to answer your question, you're recharging kind of these little batteries you have around the house.
Okay.
So you have the flashlight energy when the lights go out, we have these two senses, and I would love to write a story, write a book about that alone. And there are several different teachers that talk about this that I'm not a total expert on, that I would like to research more. But that shutting down of the sexual energy, like I was telling you guys before, for men. So women, we can have orgasms all we want, and that's actually good for us. Men, they shouldn't have orgasms all the time because that expends their gene, their vital energy. So the less they have, the better. That's sort of why I believe women live generally longer than men. But they can also, you know, do things to charge them, or like the monks do. They do the Tibetan, the four or five Tibetan rites. There's actually 6, to conserve the energy. And right now you're wearing blue, so that's good.
And purple is my favorite color.
Yeah, mine too. Mine too. So yeah, purple helps, blue helps, black, purple, blue, those shades, just like yellow for the spleen, and earth tones, kind of orange also. So yeah, so that's good.
You have black hair.
And I have black hair. It's really your color, but I color it.
I was
Or it's on the way.
I was born with black hair. And
Oh
then
yeah.
and then it got light, and then following in my dad's footsteps, I started graying in my teens.
Oh, really? And also like Steve Martin. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a last question before we're going to take our break? Are you good for now? We can ask more questions later. I'm going to go ahead and pause this or shut it off, and you guys will have to log in again. The next section we're doing is the last section, last 2 sections, lungs, liver, and then we're going to do a review of the day, and extra tips on cancer. So first it's going to be lungs and liver, and then we're going to totally review the day on the very end.
How long is the break? How many minutes?
So it's 10 minutes. So
Okay.
we'll be back at 10 after.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll see you soon.